So you see, when a lot of our children, they would do that, they come and befriend you, but they truly hate you. They think it's a war strategy to come around you and find out everything they want to find out before they strike. But these, you creating curses. And depending on the kind of loss you cause to the individual, depending if that loss was tied to something important to their bloodline, you just brought a generational curse. If it's a theft, you took something from them, generational curse of poverty upon yourself and 7 generations to come. Let's continue. Please know that we have access to what we call ancestral justice or divine justice. Yes, when somebody wrongs you, it's not just you they wrong. They wronged your entire bloodline. When somebody insults you for no reason, just because they want to break you, they want to make you feel like a piece of shit they are. Yes, they're not just insulting you, they're insulting your entire bloodline. To every soul is attached a bloodline. Ancestors who came before, who want to see that child amount to something great in life, because that's the only time they get their rest, when we're doing good. So what happens? Your ancestors carry the petition before the Supreme Judge on your behalf as your lawyer. So your ancestors are going to be the prosecutor in that case. Anyone stealing from you, depending on the amount, is creating a curse of poverty over themselves and their generations to come. And in some cases, it can affect the entire bloodline. Those of you who infiltrate your friends, companies, your friends, whatever they have, going, and you go and destroy it. Our people say, if you steal the bread of your brother, you bind yourself to the 7th generation of poverty. And then you're going to have so-called innocent descendant or even relatives of the person being affected, because what? The sin of one are punishable unto the entire clan. Because we are truly one. If one of us commit an act that is like awesome, it will bless our entire bloodline, even the knuckleheads of our bloodline. Because in the eyes of the Most High, we are one. So you can do what you want to do. The law's not going to change just because you don't agree with them. Okay? So let's continue. Anyone shedding your blood or causing your blood to be shed, his or hers will be shed as well. Anyone, our elders tells us that anyone shedding your blood or setting you up so that your blood is shed, his or hers will be shed as well at some point in time. In some cases, depending on the spiritual rank of the person they shed the blood of, their entire bloodline might end up being wiped out throughout the course of history. Okay? So the Europeans are finding out. They're finding out. That's why they use our own people. Is that, no, you're going to be the hand that will carry it out. I won't. The law doesn't spare you just because you don't know. That's the thing. That's why our community in America is stuck. They're stuck in the rut of curses. The way our children move in America is like, oh my God. They stop at nothing. They fear nothing. They respect nothing. They think they can knock down. But you do that to each other. You guys come from these bloodlines of, do you think the ancestors of the people you go around destroying going to sit there and watch you? No. And then you're going to see some people, no matter what they do, nothing works. They could be the kindest people, but they live in absolute poverty. It's because their ancestors, the forefathers or the foremothers, stole from somebody. Now their generations have to pay. They could have all the degrees. You will always find them in low-paid jobs. Nobody going to pay them to their real value. You carry a lot of burden like that because of the thing our forefathers have done. So when you find yourself in a situation, no matter what you're doing, you try so hard. Opportunity just slip. Nothing comes forth. Or nobody ever want to pay you to your real value. Start digging. Start asking questions about the people who came before you. If there's nobody to answer your question, go in prayer, meditation, fast. May somebody on the other side come forward and reveal to me what's going on with me or with the family, or you notice around. The women are not getting married, or the men, they're all bachelors. If they get married, they don't start fasting and ask. May my ancestors of the light on the other side, may one of you come forward and tell me, bring me clarity on this issue. Why so, and so? And God will do. Zambe will answer. And he will answer so that you have the opportunity to break that curse. Let's continue.
Talk about the dangers of Project 2025.
Project 2025 is nothing but a white supremacist manifesto to how they can delete anybody that ain't old, white, and male. That is all it is. It's about attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's about attacking those that don't want to bow down to the orange Jesus and decide that they're going to be his loyalists and do whatever they want him to do. It's about getting rid of the Department of Education, getting rid of the Department of Justice, making everyone subscribe to the way that they understand and interpret Christianity, which I'm sure is the same Christianity that somehow justified slavery. That's why Trump had to go ahead and send that dog whistle about our black jobs. And I got news for him and anybody else. My black ass is exactly where I'm supposed to be, trying to check them and their white supremacy. So essentially what it is to destroy us and to destroy democracy. It also looks at consolidating power in the hands of the president. This is what we already see happening when we look at what the Supreme Court did when they decided that they were going to crown him King Trump and give him immunity that has never been warranted or given in this country. Warrants immunity that would allow him to literally kill somebody and get away with it. So that's Project 2025 in a nutshell. And don't forget your grannies and your aunties, because they're trying to take your Medicaid, Social Security, and Medicare.
You have to understand that we have to defeat that programming, because the collective of America is stuck now. He had, acquired all the medals, all the recognition in every possible discipline. But and yet our children in America, observing, you clearly see that they're stuck. They can't go higher because the glass ceiling of the master has reached, its full capacity. They can no longer allow them to rise from up like a little higher than what they have already achieved. Now they are in the process of seeking to replace them, to dispose of them. And this is where the alarm must start ringing. So the community needs to seek to heal itself first, to rise from that. Okay? When we're talking about the curses that the people who brought us down are currently suffering, what makes some of you think that those of us who run around operating like our former master won't get it either? You have to understand that there are consequences messing with the people of God. Whether it's someone external to our community or someone from our community doing that to us, yes, there will be consequences. Because what makes us who we are, what makes us African, is number one, our blood, our understanding of our place in nature, our understanding of our responsibility toward nature and toward mankind. That understanding, that's what makes us African. So when they have changed all your values to make it theirs, well, guess what? In the spirit, you are as dark as them. And guess what? Yes, you suffer the same consequences as well. So as you could see, this video was very explicit on how they're planning to replace Black Americans in America. Now, when we Africans see stuff like that, don't you know it's hurtful? Because at the end of the day, like we say in Fang, Mechi Tara, Mechi Nana, my father's blood, my mother's blood were stolen to be taken away in a faraway land, enslaved for a century. And they don't even have a place in that land. It's hurtful. It's still our blood that was shedded to build the foundation, to lay the foundation of that country. And now they're talking about replacing them. Don't you know it still hurts? It hurts. That's an extended defeat. We suffered the first defeat at home, and now we're suffering another defeat with the one they stole from us. Bayan Zouk, so much suffering. For what? So what we need to do, instead of going around, African this, Black American this, we need to sit down as a people and figure out what is working against us. Because our blood is called to rule anywhere it landed. And we can only access to the blessing of our forefathers and our foremothers when we learn to walk into their path. Because spiritually, they could not destroy us. They can't curse us. They're of a spiritual lower rank. So what they did is to teach us to function against our nature. This is what they rewarded. So it was a way to train our people to be wicked like them. It was a way to destroy them spiritually. And once they have destroyed you spiritually, they don't have to do anything anymore. You will teach your kid how to destroy themselves spiritually as well. Okay? Like, as you could see, the heat is not so much on us because they're fighting their own fire. They have so many fires to put out right now. We are the least of their problems. Now they're just thinking about how to dispose of us in America. When you see the amount of missing Black kids per year, it lets you know that there's a plan against that community. They're controlling their numbers. How can we have 250,000 people missing every year? But our people are so into every and anything else. But observe the signs. Yes, because we have done the forbidden to each other in this land called America. They have perverted so many ones of us that now we are operating under curses. Curses after curses. While trying to survive, many of us have become our oppressor himself to his own people. You have to see that anything you do against our own people, you will pay. And yes, there are laws, spiritual laws, universal laws, the laws of Tatanzambe governing us. Don't think we can walk in life anyhow, doing what, and not bear the consequences. We have to take into account who we come from. We come from the creative source of life, of all lives. We come from the source of light. We are not to dwell in the dark realms. And we owe it to our ancestors. They shed blood. They didn't shed blood for us to be turned into idiots, for us to be turned into our colonizer, for us to turn our back to them and their sacrifice and claim every and anything else. And you wonder why things are not moving anywhere, going anywhere for us. In America, we stuck. They're done doing the work. Now we are doing to each other. So the collective of America, we Africans watching from afar, is operating under curse. And the ancestors that were working with you, the ancestors that were helping you, pushing you crack doors, they're backing down. Because look at what this generation has done with the achievement of our forefathers in the 60s. Our lions and our leopards who were roaring in Northern America. Look what this generation has done about it. This generation has trampled on it. This generation has peed on it. They have divided, separated themselves from their homeland. Yes, they're calling themselves FBA. They have cut their lineage to start with the slaves. So all the ancestry that come before slavery is cut off. They're doing their own thing. And you think these same ancestors will keep on cracking ceilings for you, knocking down doors for you? No. That's why we stuck. Because our wickedness in America has reached another level. We have gone against, possibly against every one of the law Tata Nzambe set over our heads. This collective of America bore arms against our own people on the continent. They're going around crying out, they want the land, they want the land. They had an opportunity to have a land for the descendant of the enslaved African in America. They were given weapons to go and build a plantation in Africa, and they erased many lineages over there. On behalf of the master, they took a whole land, they named it Liberia, named it after their former president, and gave it to their masters. Yes. Somebody must tell you the truth. Why are you going through the thing you are going? What kind of son will be snatched from the land of his ancestor and come back and set his own father's house on fire? What good can come with such son? So there's that curse of the lineages they had erased in Liberia. It's like you didn't make it to the boat. Okay, we're gonna erase your lineage. Now you Johnson. That's why in Liberia you have a lot of them entering slave masters. That's a curse. No matter how you want to sugarcoat it. And those of our clergy in America, start praying, start petitioning in the sense of begging for forgiveness for the sins of the collective of Africans in America. Oh, we're not moving. We're not going anywhere. Somebody must tell you the truth. These are curses. We had children in Brazil who left Brazil and moved to Nigeria. They went and formed a community there. They went and lived at peace with their people. They didn't go and set the country on fire. But the ones they took from us to America, many of them had fallen to their slave masters' brainwashing. They're the only ones, the only community to have ever spoken against Africa. And they walk around as if nothing. All this is catching you all. Ask for forgiveness. Because clearly we had a group of peasants over there who thought they could be masters over us. These are the ones they sent to Liberia. Because at the very same time they were there, using the master's weapons against their own people, instead of arming their people, them alone, they could have set the continent free long time ago. The weapons their masters were giving them, they could have armed the people there and pushed the liberation effort for the entire continent. They didn't do it. They went and founded a plantation in Liberia. And they think they could ever have a place in master's house. No. Because at the same time they were doing that nonsense in Africa, the royal ones and the priesthood, they were squaring them down in America. The Black Panthers, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, these were covenanted bloodlines who are born knowing better. We know, even no matter whatever lie you told us, we know what happened to us. Our blood speaks to us what happened to us. You are the enemy. So you could see there's two collective. Those who never part ways, the covenanted bloodlines, like I call them, and the peasants who were converted to think they could be master over their parents. So we have a lot to heal in America. Those of you who are in the clergy, you need to start praying for the sins of the collective of our people in America to be forgiven. And they need to stop all that evil, because look where it's leading the master. The prophecy about our people say, those who would have become the enemy will be destroyed alongside the enemy. And there's nobody helping you. Whatever measure they may take against you, who you going to call? The God of our ancestor you turned the back on to by waging war on his people? We may be African to you, but we are his people. Look at your master, how they ended up at our mercy, economically and genetically. Yes. So we need to take it seriously. self-inflicted curses. There's a lot of our children, they just walk around. They respect nothing or no one. They fear nothing or no one. They go after anybody, curse anybody out. They live dangerously. They live recklessly. Because the laws of Tatan Zambe, who even if you do it to somebody who doesn't know how to conjure divine justice, how to speed up the whooping of you in the physical realm, the laws still apply and it still catches up with you. We are not that simple of people as they made you believe about us. So I thought I should share a few thoughts with our children in America. Give a chance to the ways of our ancestors. Give them a try and see what happens. Now you have access to us. You have access to information about our ways and how our ancestors live life, and were able to build this amount of wealth which caused the European jealousy to come and invade us. So we have to go back to these ways. We are children of the covenant. There's no running. That's why we chose, and it comes with responsibility. And I'm urging each one of you to take your responsibility. The bloodlines we come from are not the type anybody can destroy. My grandfather told me that our blood is indestructible. So you better get up from your behind. There's a sign of alert. Yes, there is a plan to replace you, the descendant of the builders of the foundation of this country. How can you find yourself as part of such plot? Where did we start pushing? These are the questions you need to ask to yourself instead of jumping up and down and talking rubbish on the internet, verbally assaulting each other all the time. Give a chance to the ways of our ancestors. Don't believe anything they taught you. They say you ugly. That's why I always address you guys as my beautiful and amazing. Because yes, broken and all, we are beautiful and amazing. Even after all we've been through as a people, we're still here. Now, we need to get up from our knees and climb on our thrones. And we can't do that being dysfunctional, having become that which we claim we resent so much. It makes no sense, my people. It goes without saying, we must heal this. So what do we need to do to start the process of healing? We need to simply give up evil. We are God's people. What does it mean? We are born knowing right from wrong. It's in our blood. Okay? It's in our blood. You have to take your rightful place in society. As a child of God, you are a beacon of light, the light of our Creator, the light of Mother God, the light of Father God. And you are to share it with the world. It doesn't mean that you are to be the world doormat, but the way you carry yourself should serve as an example. You want to see the magic of the God of our ancestors. Just start walking according to his laws, and you will see. We have to heal it. Start giving up evil. If you carry yourself with respect and dignity, you leave no choice to anybody around you, but treat you accordingly. Our sons need to stop accepting money to sing about songs that will push them, that will make it cool to take each other out. It's like they make us do anything these days. We have become so easy to defeat. All they need to do is show a check. But you need to be like, wait a minute. You want me to sing this kind of lyric, but I have a son. I have nephews. I have nieces. These kind of lyrics could affect. Be these royalties you are. Whatever talent God gave you is for the benefit of you and your collective. You cannot use the same talent to help destroy the people of Zambia. You can't do that. That's why your fairy tales always end up in nightmares, because they didn't start right. Make better choices and people will respect us. And how can we stand strong if we're so divided? We do the worst to one another. We don't support one another in times of crisis. What do? We exploit. We have developed a culture of exploiting the weak ones, to the point that when one of us is in distress, they better bank on other community to find help, because their own people will eat them alive. And where do you think we're going to go in America with that? It's really time to wake up. It's really time to get serious. It's really time to change the tendency. No matter how differently you view yourself to Africans or Caribbeans, and all, the world view you as one. You are one people. So it's delusional to try so hard to distance yourself from Africa. It's funny. He cries, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I'm willing to be anybody else, but don't mention that Africa is pathetic. You're burying yourself. You don't want to know anything about Africa anymore, but the creator, the God of the Africans, will allow you to be extinct, to be erased, to be replaced. And we really would hate to see that happen. So wake up and do better. Do better by yourself and by your brothers and sisters around you. You have that responsibility. Stop the senseless war on the internet. Protect one another. Love one another. So yes, to our children in the diaspora, know that you cannot adopt the ways of the European and not suffer the kind of consequences affecting them today. You have time to remedy. You have time to go back to the ways of our ancestors. So for those of you who are already subscribed in my private classes on Patreon, I invite you to follow me there. On Patreon, I will teach you how to invoke divine justice. You know, the laws are there, the laws are set, you don't need to do anything. But there's a way you can speed up that process. There's a way you can speed up karma. And how do you speed up karma on people who cross you with their evil and stuff? Is to stand on your right. So when we go on Patreon, I will show you how to call on divine justice, how to exercise that right you're born with. You have right to justice. You have right to remedy. Okay. Number 2, I will teach you how to identify curses in your bloodline. Be the one to identify the curses. Say, hey, it seems like it's a curse. Let's do this. Let's do that. Hey, this I think it's a curse. Okay. And number 3, I will teach you what our elders teach us, how to break curses, generational curses, how to monitor them and how to break them. Okay? So see you on the other side. Now, if this is where we part ways, peace in your homes, love in your hearts, and unity, my people. Until next time. Mwah.
Hey, Bezingo. Sabana kinda o kambo kona kake ukana midunga